Hi everyone, welcome back once again to the Big Ideas Theater. I'm Ed Highland. We're here at the AARC Congress. I'm joined by Valerie David. We're going to be talking about transformational leadership. Valerie, thanks so much for coming by.
Thank you for having me. This is such an exciting time for our profession and for healthcare. So thank you for having me. I'm excited to talk about transformational leadership and how it actually impacts healthcare.
Well, let's talk about that. And on organizational leadership, what is transformational leadership, and how is it impacting and moving leadership forward?
Yeah. So James McGregor Burns, in his 1978 book on leadership, he's actually a political historian, political biographer. He talks about transformational leadership being a style of leadership where leader and teammate actually lift each other up to a higher level of inspiration and motivation. And as we know it, leadership used to be boss sitting behind a desk telling people what to do. With all of the changes going on in healthcare now, with the volatility, some of the necessary interruption, we can no longer be the type of leader that actually sits behind the desk and tell people what to do. We need to be the type of leaders that are out there with our staff, motivating them, inspiring them, and lifting them up to that next level. We also have what is going on in healthcare right now, the millennial generation. Those baby boomers basically were loyal. They listened to what the leader said. Baby boomers are actually challenging what the leader says. They are not just taking it at face value. They want you to be out there with them, boots on the ground, working side by side with them. And I think transformational leadership is a style that is going to take us into the 21st century because it allows leader and teammate to both set the course of how they want to be as a group.
Let's build on that a little bit, because the personal outcome of the follower can be very dependent on the transformational leader.
Absolutely. So basically, transformational leadership, as described by McGregor, is idealized influence. You actually are influencing through your behavior, through your actual personal style of leadership. You're influencing them to be able to do that work that they're going to be asked to do. For example, we don't have the same amount of resources that we used to have. So how do you get people to actually want to buy into what you're doing out there? So that transformational leader is going to inspire them through idealized influence, walking that walk, talking that talk. What's going on now is every single week there's something coming down about HCAP scores, leapfrog, all these different quality metrics that we actually have to provide and have to do for our organizations to move forward. Well, how do you motivate people to do that? You motivate people by actually side by side, standing there with them in the trenches, walking that walk, going to the Gemba, and being a part of that team. They don't want you behind your desk. They actually want you out there with them.
So Valerie, if you could, we're talking about transformational leaders. There are good leaders and there are bad leaders in all aspects of our world. How do you tell the difference? I think it's going to become obvious, but at the same time, if you're in a situation, you are a follower. How do you then deal with that situation?
Absolutely. So, I think about transformational leadership as opposed to transactional leadership. Transactional leaders actually make deals, they make promises. I call my transactional leaders our managers, but our transformational leaders are those leaders that actually inspire people to change. And when you say, how do you determine a good or a bad, let's go back to Hitler. Remember Hitler? Hitler was a very transformational leader. People followed him. They wanted to follow him. So I like to look at transformational leadership as a positive and a negative. But those positive transformational leaders are those leaders that have empathy for their teammates. They actually inspire them to change. They walk that walk and they talk that talk. Transformational leaders that are positive, they want to bring out the good in their people, or they want to bring out the good in their teammates. They're not in it to have their teammates struggle. They're actually in it to have them motivated and inspired to do that work that they have to go out there and do every day, sometimes when they don't even want to do it.
And you can't be a blind follower either. In terms of your Hitler reference,
Absolutely.
You cannot shut out every other aspect and say, "Oh, I'm going to follow this individual to the end."
Well, think about Hitler. People followed Hitler, just blindly. But the positive transformational leader is actually getting people to buy into the vision and the mission of the organization. They're actually motivating people to a higher level of morale and of inspiration and motivation. Again, that leader walks the walk, they talk the talk. People are inspired by somebody who has boots on the ground, who can actually get out there and say, hey, Miss Valerie, I want to do this because I see you doing it. Again, the leader of the past is that leader who sits behind the desk and send down mandates. You're just not going to be able to survive in today's economy. We have an aging population. Baby boomers are exiting the healthcare system by droves, and we are trying to backfill those positions. So you've got to be that type of leader that have that energy, that personal satisfaction of the work that you do in order to inspire other people to do that same work.
Words of wisdom. Thank you so much, Valerie David.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. This has been great, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you about transformational leadership.
We love what Big Ideas Theater is all about.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us. This is AARC Congress. I'm Ed Highland. We'll see you next time.